Disney's Jollywood Nights. Is Disney's newest holiday party worth the price? Hello, I am Ashley. I am one half of Once Upon a Wardrobe, and we are actually an outfit planning service for magical vacations. If you are in need of an outfit for Jollywood Nights, if you are attending this party in 2024, you can head to our custom services and see what we can plan for your special night out. We also have some outfit ideas that are already posted on here, so I will link that in the description so you can check all of that out, and make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. It means so much. We talk about lots of things that involve Disney, Universal, outfit planning, and tips and tricks. But let's get to discussing Jollywood Nights. I attended this party last year with some friends. I went on the second night that it was offered, and I definitely have some thoughts and opinions. The entire night was not a complete bust. I still had fun, but there are definitely some things I want to discuss and maybe have you consider if you are on the fence about purchasing this ticket. So Jollywood Nights is Disney's newest holiday after party event. It is located at Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World. Last year was the first year of its operation, and it definitely had some things to work out. Just like last year, this party starts in November. This year, it starts on November 9th and runs through select nights through December. This is a separate ticketed event. So if you happen to be attending Hollywood Studios just like on your vacation on a park day, you'll be able to go to this event and stay afterwards. You have to have an extra ticket for this event. And let's talk prices. Prices for Jollywood Nights start at $159 and can go up to $179. And just like most after-hour parties or events at Disney World or Disneyland, this does include exclusive shows, exclusive characters, as well as lower wait times for attractions. Exclusive shows for this event for Jollywood Nights include Disney's Holidays in Hollywood, which includes Kermit and Miss Piggy, which was the number one reason that I went, Belle, Tiana, and of course, Mickey and Minnie. It's very cute, and we'll get to that. The other exclusive show that is only offered during the party is the retelling of Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. This is really cool. You get to see Jack Skellington, which I assume is the same kind of puppet that they use for Halloween fireworks over at Magic Kingdom. Here they're even advertising that Oogie Boogie might make an appearance during the show, but they did use the word might. The other offerings include rare character meets and the Tip Top Club, which is over at the Hollywood Tower of Terror, which transforms into a special bar kind of on the outside area, and there's a big band playing there throughout the night. The other offering is the Brown Derby Lounge, which was advertised, I believe, as like a Christmas jazz lounge. However, you had to secure a spot in the virtual queue to even get into this experience, which is just more food and drink offerings. They have added a few things here and there. We will get to that later in the video. This was advertised as a vintage glamorous night that was supposed to make you feel like you walked into the 1950s during the holiday season. And just like last year, I feel like they're really leaning into that. This is more of an adult themed night. It's not adult only. It's still appropriate for kids in the sense that it's Disney, right? However, I'm not sure I would take my kids here just because there's not a lot for them to do. Think of this as a date night. It kind of reminded me what Disneyland used to do with their date nights. It's really geared more towards adult offerings. I will break down the difference between Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and Jollywood Nights. So we are going to start with the highs first. We are going to start with all of the things that I did enjoy throughout the night and all of the experiences that I would absolutely do again if I were to ever attend this event again. We're going to start with the quality of the food and drinks. This was one of my favorite things about the entire night. There is no shortage of food and drink offerings throughout this entire experience. I have some mixed feelings about, but overall, every single thing that I did eat was amazing. The portion sizes were pretty good for the price points. We initially tried to grab a spot for the Brown Derby Lounge and wasn't able to get into the virtual queue, which ended up being one of the best things of the night because that gave us the motivation to go try the other offerings throughout the entire park. We first stopped at the ABC Commissioner. This spot hosts the holiday fiesta, so the food offerings here were my favorite. There was a band playing out front, which was really nice because it gave something a little bit different to the area because that area is kind of not super exciting during the party. I grabbed the Bria taco and the Mexican hot chocolate cheesecake, and both of these were excellent. I could have eaten 3 or 4 tacos and been perfectly happy for the rest of the night. The only downside is that there's just one taco that comes with your meal. My friends grabbed the chicken empanadas with street corn. The empanada I sampled was really good, and the corn I thought was also very delicious. Later in the evening, when we headed over to Disney's Holidays in Hollywood, we stopped at the Fairfax Fair for a couple of dishes, and they were also so good, with the exception of one. I ordered the holiday turkey popover, the peanut butter and jelly donut, and the mistletoe martini. This was another home run for me. The popover was one of my favorite items. It could have used a little bit more cranberry. The donut was also very good. Again, it could have used a little bit more jam, but that's just because I like the sweetness. One of my friends that we were with grabbed the Just the Sides popover, and I did not enjoy that. The Just the Sides popover was served with anise, I believe I'm saying that right, which is a spice that to me tastes just like black licorice. So I did not enjoy that, but I also didn't get that. So just be aware, if you don't like that flavoring, I would stay clear of that offering. They also grabbed the Kermit Banana Bliss, which was very, very good. And extra points because it was Muppet themed. The other highlight for me personally was the show Disney's Holidays in Hollywood. This was the main reason that I was attending the party, if I'm being honest with you. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I am obsessed with the Muppets. I have been a giant Muppets fan my entire life, starting with the Muppet Babies. So when they had said that Kermit and Miss Piggy were going to be hosting this show, that is the main reason why I booked my ticket. Yes, I love Hollywood Studios. It is my favorite theme park. It's also my favorite theming in general because I love old school Hollywood, and this party was centered around that. That was also a reason I booked the ticket, but let's be honest, Kermit and Miss Piggy were the huge selling points for me. We got in line around 10:15 to see this show. The line looked so long, and I was like, oh no, we're not going to get a good seat. We ended up getting a great seat. The concept of the show is that you're watching a live taping of a vintage holiday special. Kermit and Miss Piggy are the hosts, and the Muppets are actually there. They're not on a screen. There are actually puppeteers that are handling these characters. So that was a big plus. You had performances from Tiana. She was incredible. Her voice was amazing. The costume was amazing. And then you also had performances from Belle. Of course, you had an appearance from Mickey and Minnie. This was adorable. And honestly, the entire time it felt like I was watching a short Broadway performance show. From the dancers to the big band to the performance, everything was just a 10 out of 10 for me as far as performance, and I would not miss this show if you are attending Jollywood Nights. There are a couple of opportunities for you to watch it, so just check the schedule when you get in, or if you're going, I'm sure it'll be posted somewhere on the internet of when these shows will be happening. The other highlight for me is, of course, the fashion. Disney really pushed for this to be a glamorous event, and they were encouraging people to dress up, and people did not disappoint. Honestly, I wish I would have dressed up a little bit more, but I wasn't sure how it was going to go. But getting to just walk around and see people in vintage style outfits, whether they were Disney inspired or not, was fantastic. Like, I was obsessed with the creativity that was really shown throughout this night. It's kind of nice because you don't often get to dress up fancy to go to a Disney park. This is in the evening, so you can wear something that maybe you wouldn't normally wear, and not have to worry about melting in the Florida sun. I wore pants. I was completely comfortable for the night. I also wore a blazer over my shoulders. It was a tiny bit warm because I was also wearing a thrifted turtleneck, but for the most part, I was pretty comfortable. I didn't take a lot of photos of strangers. However, I did get to run into these two lovely humans here at Disney's Holidays in Hollywood. They were obviously dressed as characters from A Muppet Christmas Carol. They made these costumes. They were amazing. And I got to talk to them and for a while and everything. So I felt comfortable taking a picture. But honestly, just sitting on a bench and watching these outfits and costumes just walk by me was one of my favorite parts. But that's just because I really love fashion. So if you are going, don't be afraid to dress up. And again, you can check out our custom services or any of the outfits we already posted for some inspiration. Okay. Let's get to the lows. And I am going to discuss my disappointments from last year, even though Disney has appeared to make some changes for the upcoming party for 2024, but we're still going to kind of dig into what didn't go right last year, because I still think it's important to consider some of these options and some of these problems if you haven't purchased your ticket yet. Or maybe you can learn from my mistakes and if you've already purchased a ticket and see kind of how you can adjust your plans. Okay, one of my biggest complaints last year was the timing. They have appeared to already make this change. Last year, the party didn't start until 8:30 p.m. So it was a 4-hour party that started at 8:30 and ended at 12:30. 4 hours was not nearly enough time to get through the things that we needed to get through. Last year, there was a lot of confusion on when you could actually enter the park prior to the party starting. I think that's going to be changed next year. But however, last year they didn't start the festivities until right at 8:30. We did see a couple characters come out starting at 8:15. But I mean, there's no wiggle room there. There's no food or shows that start a little bit before that. So there's really not a whole lot to do before the party starts. You also only get like an hour ahead of time to get into the parks before the party starts, which is very different from Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So I think for this year, for Jollywood for 2024, you can enter the parks at Hollywood Studios as early as 6 p.m. for the 7:30 party, for the party starting at 7:30 this year. But for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, you can enter the parks as early as 4 p.m. So you can get a couple things off of your list, such as like Jingle Cruise if you wanted to ride Jingle Cruise. And you could also get in line early for characters like Jack and Sally at Mickey's Very starting at 4. So you're able to kind of do a couple things before the official party starts for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. As for Jollywood, that was not the case. I think that if they were to open something like the Brown Derby Lounge at 4 p.m., then that would help with the issue of trying to get into that virtual queue. I think it's kind of crazy that you have to get a virtual queue for one of their special offerings for the party when you're already paying $160 to $180. So not starting something early like that, like they do at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, was so weird to me. I also, side note, just think that the Brown Derby Christmas Lounge should be something that's offered maybe to everyone during the day. And that would also help alleviate some of the stress. I don't know, just thinking outside the box that Hollywood Studios during the day could offer some more Christmas offerings, get into the park a little bit earlier, and then you're not having to time everything perfectly to a T to make sure you don't miss the things that you want to see during Jollywood Nights. Okay, the second low for me was what was actually offered. I was so hyper focused on Kermit and Miss Piggy that I really didn't do a great job of paying attention to other things that were actually being offered at the price point for this party. It somehow felt that there wasn't enough to do, and yet we also didn't have time to do it all, if that makes any sense. So we wanted to see The Nightmare Before Christmas showing, but I also was with some huge Star Wars fans, and they wanted to ride Rise of the Resistance and head into Oga's to see if they were doing anything fun, because the day that we were actually at Jollywood was Life Day. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you know that's a special holiday within that storyline. They wanted to go in there and see if they had special drinks for Life Day or anything fun. Spoiler alert, they did not. We kind of wasted time a little bit with that. So just know that as of last year, there's nothing that's really new and exciting within Galaxy's Edge, except with the fact that Mando, the Mandalorian, will be meeting this year. So there is that, I suppose. My other kind of, I guess, complaint about the event is that one of the biggest draws to it is all of the food and drink offerings. So there's a lot, which is fantastic. Do not get me wrong. I like that. But it also comes with a double-edged sword, because it's almost like an Epcot festival level of offerings, which when you're going to an Epcot festival, you have all day to kind of sample and explore the things. You're never going to eat everything or eat or drink everything that is offered in one day, but you've got a little bit more time. You do not get any snacks or drinks included with your ticket of Jollywood as you do with Mickey's Very Merry. You get cookies and hot cocoa and cider that's included in your price. That's not included within Jollywood. So I feel like you're paying a lot of money to try and sample all of this delicious food, but you've already paid $160 or $180. You only have 5 hours to squeeze in the things that you want to eat. So it just kind of feels like you're paying for an Epcot festival as opposed to a true experience. The rare characters are great, but if characters aren't your thing, then you're not really going to find that a true perk. The low wait times for the rides are also really great. But again, if you're going for more of the theme and the vibes and expecting it to be of like shows and things like that, then you might be disappointed in what is offered, which kind of goes into the theming of how it was last year. I really was sold on the 1950s glam, and I thought it was going to be more jazzy, just more kind of vintagey vibes, which part of it was. However, it really only felt like that on Sunset Boulevard. There was a DJ near the Chinese theater, which was playing like modern techno music, which just felt like a really weird vibe. So as we were getting pictures with Goofy towards the end of the night, you could hear like dance music to a DJ, which just like doesn't feel very 1950s theme. I just felt like it was inconsistent with the vintage holiday glam theme. And then Ali was supposed to be this big new character, but he was only like on a sign last year. You can't meet him, or last year you couldn't. So the theming that sold me really disappointed me. Another low for me was how much this party cost. And I think that's why this felt like such a big disappointment. It was $160 for 4 hours of the party. And because of the lack of offerings, and also you're not getting anything included with that. I'm sorry, we did get coasters that were included, as well as a lanyard. But if you're comparing it to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, you're not really getting, in my opinion, a lot for the price tag of this event. Had I only paid maybe $100 or $80 for something like this, I probably wouldn't have left going, well, that was something, because you're having to pay for so much when you're there. That is the food and drinks, that it just felt like it was a really expensive night. Then when you get in, you're to experience the things that they're offering, you're having to pay more money. Now we're going to get to the 2024 updates, because I believe they are trying to learn from their past mistakes. The price has not changed, but they are trying to make more additions to the night to give it a little bit more bang for your buck. They are offering something new as far as entertainment. They are introducing the show called Glisten, which is a skating spectacular experience. I actually think this is going to be really cool. This will be set inside the parks. They're going to have professional ice skaters singing to classic Christmas songs as well as Disney songs. So I think this will be a nice addition and offer something very different that no other Disney park is offering. The other addition is the Pixar themed dance party, which is being described as the perfect place to party with VIPs. Head to the all new Pixar themed dance party, where Joy, Frozone, Edna Mode, and other Pixar pals invite you to have a blast on the dance floor. For this being an adult centered party, I just feel like this maybe is kind of an odd choice for an addition for entertainment. I'm sure that there will be plenty of people who have fun with this, but for me, I'm not sure that this is an addition that's going to add to the value of my ticket. I mean, if I choose to go do it, it would be for maybe a few minutes and then I'm moving on. I'm not spending a half hour here dancing with characters. Speaking of characters, they are adding some new characters to the mix, which I think will help with the line flow of the night. On top of all of the other rare characters they had last year, which were like the Sensational Six in their Christmas outfits. You also had Perry the Platypus, you had Chip and Dale in their Rescue Rangers outfit. So they did have those. This year they're going to have Santa Duffy, Santa Stitch, Lotso, Bo Peep, and the Mandalorian, and I think a couple others that I might be missing. So that will also help alleviate some of the issues with the lines being so long throughout the night. Photo ops are really fun at this event. They have a lot that are very unique. I did enjoy that part of it. They're also adding a Muppet Christmas Carol photo opportunity, which I think will be really fun. Obviously, this will be over at Stage 1, which great, but we just opened that back up. That would be a perfect time to open it up and offer exclusive Kermit and Piggy Christmas themed merch. Maybe they will. I don't know, but can we just reopen Stage 1? So those are the new offerings. So let's break down the cost of Mickey's Very Merry versus Jollywood. Now, I know these are very different events. One is very kid-centered, I feel like, and the other is very adult, but I feel like it's important to talk about both offerings when it comes to cost and what you're getting. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, what you get for that. It costs anywhere between $170 and $210 based on the night that you are attending. The 5 hours of party time with 3 extra hours to get into the parks and get some minor things done that you might want to do before the party even starts. 3. Included in your ticket are cookies, cider, and hot chocolate. There's an exclusive fireworks show, exclusive castle performances, exclusive character meets, you have the dance parties, and you have the incredible parade that happens twice a night. You also get to walk away with an ornament souvenir, and of course, there is snow. Now, Jollywood Nights. Let's talk about the cost of Jollywood Nights and what you're getting. Jollywood Nights, the cost ranges anywhere from $159 to $179. There are discounts available for both parties if you are an annual pass holder, DVC member, and things like that. No food or drinks are included in this price tag. However, the souvenir for this year, instead of the coasters, are champagne flavored marshmallows that are themed around Miss Piggy, which I think is fabulous. But that is what you're walking away with this year. That's at least been advertised. You do have exclusive shows, you have a couple, and you do have exclusive characters. There is no parade, and the show that is at the Chinese Theater, the Jingle Bell Jingle Bam, that is available this year. But again, I don't think it's anything to boast about because it's an old show that maybe you've seen before if you have visited Hollywood Studios during the holidays prior to 2020. If you already bought your tickets, don't panic. I think the best advice is to really do your research. You really need to narrow down the things that you really want to see, write down the times that they start, and kind of plan your evening around there. I am not a big planner when it comes to my trips. I leave that to my friends or my husband. They all like to do that, and I like to go with the flow. I wouldn't do that with this party. We kind of had to do that since we went on the second night of it ever happening. There wasn't a ton of information, and what was coming wasn't great, but I wouldn't do that for this. You really need to prioritize, as I think you kind of do with each party since it's only available for 5 hours, but don't panic. You haven't wasted your money. Just know ahead of time that you realistically might get to do and see all the things that maybe you wanted to do. What would you like to see if you have attended this event in the past and maybe you're going this year? What are some things that you would like to see? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Down below. One of the things that I thought would be really fun is if they would do a Sweetums meet and greet over on Grand Avenue. He never meets. We know that we have the costume. It's used in Muppet Vision 3D. I just feel like this would be a fun perk since the Muppets are kind of a part of Jollywood Nights. I'm interested to hear your thoughts below though. If you have any questions, please let me know. And again, if you need help with outfit planning, you can reach out to us here. We also have a Patreon, which is really fun. And if you go to the parks frequently, this is a great way to get some outfit ideas and plans per month. We do one outfit drop a month, and then there's lots of other perks included within each tier of Patreon. I always say this is great for travel agents or locals or even pass holders because you don't really have to stop and think about what you're going to wear. Once a month, we plan something for you. Thanks so much for watching. We really, really appreciate it. We are a small business, so any support truly helps us. And remember, park fashion does not have to be complicated. It just has to make you smile. Bye!